So it happened 3 years ago. It was late in the night in October when I returned home. It was late at night and I drove with some friends in their car. It was Mike, Emily, Jason, and Sarah, I recall. It was a weekend trip, so already when we reached the highway, it was 2:45 a.m. The sound of the highway was highly dominating. In fact, the only sound that regularly came to our ears had something to do with the car's engine. We tried to stay awake, kidding and playing music. Then that's when Emily gasped and pointed forward, then exclaimed, "Stop the car." I slowed it down while trying to take a peek at that place where she was pointing to. That was when I saw her. She was just a woman standing aside a road in a white dress, waving her hand at the passing vehicles to take her in. Normally I wouldn't have stopped for anyone that late, but she looked so helpless standing there in the cold. And after a quick exchange of glances, we both decided to help. She slid into the back seat of the car without a word, speaking only in the faintest tones. "Thanks. I've been waiting hours." There was a smoothness to her tone, almost too calm. She sat beside Emily and didn't say anything to anyone as she gazed blankly out the window. She hadn't said a thing at least for what felt like minutes before she said, "Turn left there." Mike, who was driving, couldn't quite believe his ears. He hesitated but turned left. The road narrowed, darkened. No houses, no lights, nothing. She said with no apparent warning, "Stop here. This is where I get off." Mike pulled over and I turned around to let her out. But the back seat was empty. She was gone. "Where's she gone?" Emily exclaimed, her voice trembling. Jason turned around to go back and shrugged. "This can't be possible," he whispered to himself under his breath. Then out of the car we moved to get a closer view. It was then when we noticed it, roadside memorial miniature. A tattered photo of the female topped that. Below, in loving memory of Rebecca, tragically lost her life here in a car accident on the 15th of October, 1995. I was frozen. My hands were shaking. Sarah grabbed my arm and whispered, "Let's get out of here. Now." We climbed back into the car without another word and took off. Even now, remembering that night gives me goose flesh. We drove away someone who wasn't going to make it, in that highway. I don't drive on that one anymore. Others say they have seen her standing on the roadside waiting for a lift. If ever you encounter her, here is my advice: don't stop.